Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're continuing our Wisdom Unveiled series, and today, wow, we're getting into something really foundational from Ibn Sina,
That's right. We're tackling the nafsī Natika.
the rational soul. And this is episode 11 in our exploration of his thought. Our mission today is, well, to unpack this idea, its potentially limitless nature, how it might connect to the divine, and what it tells us about knowledge, awareness, maybe even salvation.
Exactly. It goes much deeper than just, the ability to talk. It's about the core of human consciousness as he saw it.
Okay, but before we dive really deep, just our usual quick note. This deep dive is based on translations, mainly fascinating talks with Iranian philosophers like Dr. Ibrahim Dinani and Dr. Esmail Mansouri Larijani.
And with any translation, especially with these kinds of complex philosophical ideas, some nuances, some specific details, they might not come across perfectly.
Yes, exactly. So we apologize if there are any small discrepancies. And honestly, we always appreciate your feedback or suggestions if you have them.
Yeah.
So let's start there then. Nafsī Natika, rational soul. My first thought, probably like a lot of people's, go straight to language. Talking. Is that it? Is that where Ibn Sina stops?
Well, that's the natural starting point, the immediate association. But Ibn Sina, he pushes us much, much further. For him, Natika isn't just about making sounds.
Okay.
I mean, animals make sounds, right? A parrot can even mimic human words perfectly. But Ibn Sina would say they don't possess Natika in this truly profound sense.
So what is it then, fundamentally?
It's fundamentally about thought. It's about meaning.
Ah, okay. So the meaning comes before the words. The words are just the vehicle, the expression.
Precisely. That's a great way to put it. He even talks about something called kalam nafsī.
Nafsī.
Yeah, it translates roughly to inner speech or mental speech. Meanings exist inside our minds first.
Yeah.
These complex webs of understanding, these concepts, they're there even if we never actually say them out loud.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. So even if someone, say, can't physically speak, or even just when we're sitting here thinking quietly to ourselves, we're still fully using that in a Natika.
Yes, absolutely. It's always engaged.
It's an internal thing, continuous. It's never idle, never switched off.
Exactly. That's a key point he makes. The rational faculty is never idle, never dormant. It's never off the clock, so to speak.
Yeah.
Our capacity for thought, for awareness, is continuous.
It is awareness.
It is awareness, yes. And he describes this awareness as being perpetually open. The term he uses is infeta. It's constantly receiving, constantly attentive to the world.
Perpetually attentive. I like that. You mentioned an analogy before, I think, about the face, how it holds the main gateways for awareness. How does that connect here?
Right, well, think about it. Your face holds your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue. 4 of the 5 main senses are right there.
Spiller wordle.
They're the first entry points for awareness, aren't they? The avenues for knowledge connecting us directly to the world, but they just bring in raw data, sensory input. It's the intellect, the akal, that guides them. The akal interprets what the senses perceive and makes sense of it all. It gives it meaning.
And the intellect itself. This is fascinating. Ibn Sina argues it doesn't have a physical spot. Like, it's not in the brain cells.
No, not in the way we might think of locating something physically.
Yeah.
But he says it has an attachment to us. A taluk.
Kaluk, attachment.
Yes. Think of a musician's skill. The music isn't in the flute or the violin itself, right?
Right.
But the skill, the musicianship, is definitely attached to the musician. It manifests through the instrument. Similarly, our thoughts aren't just brain activity for Ibn Sina. There's something deeper, attached to our very being, but not physically confined within it.
Attached but not confined. Okay, I think I'm getting that. So building on this continuous awareness, this intellect, where does Ibn Sina see human awareness really peaking? Where does it reach its highest expression?
He points to 3 main areas where he thinks the intellect truly shines, where human awareness reaches its, let's say, zenith. First, he mentions religion or din.
Religion, okay.
Yeah, a true understanding of religious ideas, its truths, its ethics, that demands a really high level of awareness. It's not just reciting things by rote. He'd say a child or an animal can't truly grasp the complexities. It requires that developed rational soul, the Natika.
Makes sense. What's the second area?
Second is art honor. Now, think about animal creations. A beehive is amazing. A spider's web is intricate.
Incredible engineering.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's instinctual. It's repetitive, largely unchanging across generations. But human art, it's dynamic. It's constantly changing, infinitely varied. An artist creates new expressions, explores new ideas, new feelings, pushes boundaries.
Right, always something new.
That constant innovation, that novelty, shows a higher form of awareness at work. It's the Natika's creativity in action.
Constant creation. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. And the third peak?
The third is philosophy falsafa. And for Ibn Sina, this isn't just what we might call empirical science today. Science uses experiments, observation, vital stuff, of course, giving us knowledge of the physical world. But philosophy, for him, looks higher. It asks about ultimate causes, about essences, about existence itself. The intellect, the equal, is what ultimately validates even scientific findings. Experience gives us data, sure, but it's reason that interprets it, gives it certainty, makes it real knowledge.
So these three, religion, art, philosophy, they're not just subjects you study, they're more like arenas.
Yeah.
Where our highest awareness shows up and grows.
That's a great way to put it. Arenas or manifestations of our potential for knowing and creating. And this actually leads us right into another absolutely critical distinction he makes. This might be one of his most transformative ideas.
Oh, what's that?
The difference between Goftan and Gofteh.
Goftan versus Gofteh. Okay, let's break that down. Let's start with Gofteh. What is said? That sounds like the actual words someone spoke or the book they wrote, the finished thing.
Exactly. Once it's said, once it's out there, it's kind of finite. It's external to you, the speaker or thinker. Yeah. There's boundaries, right? A beginning and an end. Like a specific lecture or this conversation, once it's recorded or an email you send, it's fixed, limited by its form.
Yeah, okay, got it. Gofteh is the artifact, the product. So then Goftan, the saying, that's different. Is it like the potential to speak?
Yeah.
Or the action itself?
It's much more than just potential. It is the action, but it's the continuous, never-ending action of the rational soul itself.
Goftan is limitless. It's eternal, he argues.
Limitless, eternal.
Yes. It's profoundly tied to our true self, our non-physical essence. Your nafs, your essential self, is Natika, and it is Goftan. It doesn't just do the saying, it is this unending expression, this continuous act of thinking and meaning-making.
Wait, our physical body is temporary, it fades away, but this Goftan, this act of saying, of thinking, that doesn't.
That's the implication. It doesn't. Meaning itself flows from this eternal Goftan. The source is ongoing. Wow. Okay, that's a huge shift. It makes the process, the ongoing act of thinking and being aware, the real core, not just the finished thing, the Gofteh.
Exactly. It really challenges our modern focus sometimes, doesn't it? The focus on just the quantifiable output. The project's finished, the paper's published, the thing's said.
The Gofteh.
Right. He's pointing to something else. He's saying the real internal value, maybe even our essence, lies in that unending process itself, the journey of awareness, the Goftan.
So if Goftan is limitless, eternal, where does that infinitude come from? It can't just come from us, finite beings. It must connect to something bigger, right?
That's the crucial link he makes. If it's infinite in its nature, it must connect to the ultimate, absolute infinite, God, our Natika, our capacity for saying, our awareness. It's fundamentally plugged into the divine source. In a way, God also speaks to everything. Not in human words, obviously, but through the language of creation itself, through the universe's design, the laws of nature, the intricate order of things. That's a kind of divine saying. And our own speech, our own Goftan, is like an echo.
An echo?
Yes, an echo. Seda is the word sometimes used, of a deeper inner call, Nita, coming from that divine source. We're reflecting something much deeper within us when we think and articulate meaning.
An echo, Seda, of a deeper call, Nita. I like that imagery. So if that's the case, what nourishes this soul, this Natika, this Goftan? What's its food?
Well, according to this line of thought, the real food for this rational soul isn't physical. It's the divine names and attributes. Like Alim, the all-knowing, Hakim, the all-wise, Kabir, the all-aware, Latif, the subtle, the gracious. Contemplating these, reflecting on these divine qualities, that's what nourishes and expands the soul.
Divine names as nourishment. That's a powerful image. It sounds like a path towards growth, maybe even towards happiness or fulfillment, which I think brings us to something Ibn Sina says that sounds, well, quite radical.
Which part are you thinking of?
The idea that, and I'm paraphrasing here, if a person becomes perfect in knowledge and awareness, agahi, even if they have shortcomings and good deeds, they will ultimately be saved. That sounds challenging.
It is radical and needs careful understanding. Now, it's absolutely not saying actions don't matter at all. Of course they do within his framework.
Okay.
But it is placing this incredibly profound emphasis on awareness agi as the absolute foundation, the bedrock.
Why?
Because without awareness, actions can be empty. They can be misguided. They could even be wrong, unintentionally. Awareness, he argues, is the ruler over everything else. It's the guide. It's what allows us to even perceive our shortcomings and correct them.
So it's not just what you do, but the knowing behind it. Or perhaps just the state of being truly aware that's primary.
Yeah.
How does someone cultivate this? Is there a practice?
He does give some hints, particularly in another work, Targhib Bordoa, to become one of the Alea, the friends of God. He says you have to arm yourself with these divine names we mentioned.
Right, the nourishment.
Yes. And this involves purifying the heart, certainly, but critically, he says to prioritize thought fikrs over mere verbal remembrance, zikr.
Prioritize thought over just repeating words.
Exactly. He warns quite strongly against just, dry remembrance. Just repeating sacred words or names without thinking, without that internal attention and reflection. True remembrance, the kind that nourishes the soul, happens when thought fikr and the words zikr work together. And deep reflective thought has to lead the way.
So don't just say it, think it, know it, understand it. That's what leads to inner peace and true understanding, this focus on awareness and thought. It also sheds light on how people sometimes misunderstand Ibn Sina's own relationship with Irfan, or mysticism, doesn't it?
It really does. Dr. Dinani, for instance, argued very strongly against this common idea that Ibn Sina only turned to mysticism late in life, or that his mystical writings were just some kind of side project or amusement.
Right, I've heard that narrative.
Dr. Dinani asserts, based on historical accounts and Ibn Sina's work itself, that he was deeply engaged with Irfan from his early youth. There are stories, about him facing an insolvable intellectual problem. And he'd go to the mosque, pray 2 rak'ats, units of prayer, and the solution would come to him. That points to an early spiritual and, you could say, mystical inclination, not some late-life conversion.
So for Ibn Sina, Irfan wasn't separate from intellect.
Not at all. For him, Irfan fundamentally means knowledge, shanat. It's the final stage of understanding, the deepest knowing. It's not a rejection of intellect, but perhaps its highest realization.
Okay, that clarifies things.
No, yeah.
Thinking about language again, Western philosophy, someone like Wittgenstein, for instance, gave language such a central role, famously saying, the limits of my language mean the limits of my world. How does Ibn Sina's view of Natika compare or contrast with that?
Well, Wittgenstein's insight there is undeniably profound, recognizing how central language is to our understanding, to structuring our world is powerful.
Yeah.
But the potential limitation, from an Ibn Sinian perspective, is that many Western philosophers, perhaps including Wittgenstein at times, tended to confine the power of intellect primarily to the sensible, the material world. They didn't always fully grasp or explore the metaphysical nature of language itself.
So they saw its importance, but maybe missed the deeper why or the what else it connects to.
Possibly. As we discussed, Ibn Sina suggests that since humans don't create the fundamental underlying structure of speech, its very possibility, its framework, is inherently metaphysical. It's a gift.
The path to the metaphysical.
Exactly. It provides a path to understanding the metaphysical world, a path that animals lacking this kind of complex, meaning-driven language don't consciously possess. You even see echoes of this in the Quran, in Surah Ar-Rahman. The most gracious taught the Quran, created man, and taught him al-bayan.
Al-bayan, meaning clear expression or articulation.
Precisely. It points to this divinely gifted inherent capacity for meaningful language built into our nature.
And this whole connection, thought, language, our inner state, it even extends to our most basic needs, doesn't it? I'm thinking of that Quranic verse, let man look to his food. فَلَنْصُرَ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَّا تَامِي.
Yes, that's a perfect example. On one level, yes, look at your physical food, but it implies much more. Humans are described as newness-seeking tanavo talab, especially regarding food. We always want new tastes, different cuisines, variety.
Unlike animals who eat the same thing day after day.
Right. But this applies just as much, if not more so, to our intellectual nourishment. We are constantly seeking new ideas, new theories, new discoveries, new understanding. That verse is a profound invitation to evaluate not just our physical diet, but our mental diet.
Our thoughts.
Yes, to critically assess the ideas we consume. Are they nourishing? Are they wholesome? Are they true?
So it's about critical thinking, really, for both body and mind. That really elevates the purpose of our intellect. And Rumi, the great mystic poet, he even echoes this kind of hierarchy of intellect in his poetry, doesn't he?
Oh, beautifully so. Rumi says something like, beyond these intelligibles, the things we grasp with ordinary reason, there are other intelligibles. Beyond this intellect of yours, God has intellects that are without the contrivance of the heavens.
Wow.
It's a profound statement, especially coming from a renowned mystic. He's underscoring that what lies beyond our everyday intellect isn't an absence of intellect or something irrational. It's a higher degree of intellect, a deeper level of understanding, still within the realm of the intelligible, McCall. still knowable, just higher.
What an incredible mind-expanding journey today, seriously. Diving into Ibn Sina's Natika, we've gone way past just speaking. We've seen it as this potentially limitless thought, as awareness itself, this eternal saying, the Goftan, connected right into the divine. And then seeing how vital that deep knowledge, that thoughtful awareness, the fikr is for our spiritual path, even possibly shaping our understanding of ultimate salvation. It really shifts the focus.
It really reframes things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This understanding that intellect is our guide. It's not infallible, it makes mistakes, but its nature is to correct itself, to seek truth, leading us towards higher degrees of awareness, and ultimately connecting us to that metaphysical reality.
Okay, so perhaps just a final thought for you, for everyone listening, to sort of take away and chew on. Ibn Sina's focus on this continuous thought, on being nourished by those divine names, Alim, Hakim, Kabir, on awareness being the absolute key. It really suggests an active path, doesn't it?
It does. It's not passive.
So the question becomes, how can any of us actually cultivate that constant state of agahi, that deep fikr? Not just when we set aside time for meditation or prayer, but, when you're dealing with emails or stuck in traffic, just living everyday life. How do we actually train our soul to resonate with those divine qualities? How do we learn to hear that eternal inner call, the nida, amidst all the noise and echoes, the seda of the world around us? Tuning into the nida amidst the seda. That is a profound challenge, really. Integrating that quality of awareness into every single moment. It's a lifelong practice, I imagine.
It really is a truly powerful and, practical thought to end on. Thank you so much for guiding us through all of that today. It was fascinating.
My pleasure. Always enjoy these discussions.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this deep dive into Ibn Sina's philosophy. There is still so much more wisdom to uncover in our Wisdom Unveiled series.
Looking forward to the next one.
So please do join us for our next segment. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking that deeper wisdom.